There's something weighing on my mind, a truth that demands to be spoken, not for anyone's approval, but for the sake of clarity and peace. In the depths of stillness, I've realized that my current thoughts are not just mine. They are echoes of every experience and every person who has ever crossed my path. Today feel different, as if the air itself is urging me to say what's been locked away in my heart for too long. Sometimes we carry feelings so heavy that even our thoughts start bending under the weight of what's unsaid. There's a storm within me, one that can only calm itself if I let my thoughts flow freely into words. You deserve the truth, even when the truth is messy, raw, and not easy to hear. This is one of those moments. I've come to learn that vulnerability isn't weakness. It's courage in its purest form, and I owe you that today. Some thoughts demand more than silence. They need to be shared, even if it shakes the foundation of everything we believe in. I can no longer hold back the tide of my feelings. This moment is about stepping into the light, no matter how blinding it might seem. When emotions run deep, they find their way out, whether through words, tears, or silence breaking open into truth. I have felt lost in my own thoughts lately, and it's time to let you know what's really been going on within me. They say thoughts are fleeting, but some linger, building walls within us. It's time to break those walls down. There's a strange liberation in sharing what scares you most, and I'm about to discover just how freeing that can be. It's not easy to admit when you're struggling, but pretending everything is fine is a weight I can no longer carry. Every journey of understanding begins with a single step, and this conversation is my first step toward clarity. I've been at war with myself, caught between hiding my truth and setting it free. Today, I choose freedom. Sometimes, the only way to silence the chaos within is to let your feelings speak their truth. My current thoughts are a reflection of everything I felt, but never dared to say out loud. Until now. The truth doesn't always set you free immediately. Sometimes it pulls you apart before putting you back together. I've realized that the most important things we say are often the ones we fear the most. In a world where everyone wears masks, sharing my unfiltered thoughts feels like an act of rebellion. Sometimes, the heaviest burdens aren't the ones we carry on our backs, but the ones we hold in our hearts. I can no longer live in the shadow of unspoken words. This is my moment to step into the light. When you've been silent for so long, finding the courage to speak feels like learning to breathe again. I've come to understand that the most honest conversations are the ones we have with ourselves first. It's terrifying to open up, but it's even more terrifying to let these thoughts consume me from within. There's something profoundly human about sharing your heart, even when it feels like it's breaking. I've been searching for the right words, not to impress, but to express the depth of what I feel. Sometimes the greatest gift you can give yourself is permission to feel deeply and speak openly. This isn't just a confession, it's a declaration of everything I've been too afraid to say. What I have to say isn't easy, but it's necessary for me, for you, and for the truth to finally breathe. I've been carrying a storm within me, and I can no longer pretend it doesn't exist. To share your thoughts is to invite others into your world, and I'm ready to open that door. There's a beauty in vulnerability, in stripping away the facade and showing the world who you truly are. I'm not here to explain or justify, just to be honest about what's been on my heart. Every unspoken thought leaves an imprint, and it's time for me to erase the weight of silence. I've always believed in the power of words, but I'm only now discovering the power of honesty. There's a strange kind of peace that comes with saying what you've been holding back for so long. My thoughts and feelings are not just mine. They're pieces of a puzzle I'm finally ready to share. The truth isn't always beautiful, but it's always liberating, and today I choose liberation. In the silence of my own mind, I found the courage to say what needs to be said today. There's a point where silence becomes unbearable, and for me, that point is now. I've reached a crossroads where the only way forward is through honesty and openness. This is not just an update, it's a glimpse into the thoughts that have shaped my soul. What I'm about to share is not just a story, it's a piece of my heart, raw and unfiltered. Sometimes the only way to heal is to break open and let the truth pour out. I've been carrying these feelings alone for too long, and it's time to let them breathe. What I'm feeling right now is a mix of fear and relief, but I know this moment is necessary. When words fail, emotions take over. Today, I'll let both speak for me. There's a weight that comes with unspoken truths, and I'm finally ready to set myself free. Every thought, every feeling has brought me to this moment, and I can't turn back now. Sharing this is not easy, but it's the first step toward the understanding and healing. I've been holding on to these thoughts like a lifeline, but it's time to let them go. Sometimes being honest with yourself is the hardest thing, but it's also the most freeing. The world might not understand, but this isn't about them. It's about finding peace within myself. In this moment, I'm choosing authenticity over fear, truth over comfort, and love over silence. This is more than a message. It's a bridge to understanding everything I've been holding inside. There's power in words, and today I'm using mine to reclaim my voice and my truth. Every thought I've had, every feeling I've suppressed, has led to this moment of clarity. Sometimes, the most important conversations aren't the ones we have with others, but the ones we have with ourselves. When I look back at everything I've felt, I realize that silence was never the answer. It only delayed the truth. Every unspoken word is a chance missed, and today I'm taking back every chance I've let slip away. The weight of my thoughts has grown too heavy to bear alone. It's time to share what's been on my heart. This isn't just about me. It's about the connection that only comes when we're brave enough to share our truth. I've spent so much time in my own head that it's time to let my heart take the lead and speak its truth. There's a kind of power in letting your emotions spill out, raw and unfiltered, for the world to see. My journey has led me here, to this moment, where vulnerability becomes my strength. Sometimes, the hardest thing to do is to confront your own feelings, but it's the only path to freedom. In this space, I'm learning to trust my voice, even when it shakes under the weight of honesty. The most profound truths are often buried beneath layers of fear, but I'm ready to dig deep and let them rise. Every thought, every feeling is a piece of my story that deserves to be heard. I've carried this for too long, and now I'm ready to put it into words and release the burden. There's no script for moments like these, just raw emotion and the courage to let it be seen. I've learned that the only way to truly move forward is to first acknowledge where you are. This is my way of turning the pain into purpose and the silence into something meaningful. Each thought I share is a step toward breaking free from the prison of unspoken truths. I've come to understand that even the darkest emotions have a light to offer when we let them out. It's not easy to stand here, exposed and vulnerable, but it's the only way to truly connect. These aren't just words, they're pieces of my soul, shared with the hope of finding understanding. Sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is admit that you're not okay, and that's where I am today. I've always feared judgment, but I've realized that truth is worth more than anyone's opinion. There's a kind of beauty in the chaos of our emotions, and I'm learning to embrace it. Every word I say now is a step closer to healing and a step further from the shadows of doubt. My heart has carried these feelings for so long, and it's finally time to let them be free. To share this is not just an act of courage, It's a declaration that I will no longer hide from myself. Sometimes the hardest stories to tell are the ones that matter most, and this is one of them. I've learned that the only way to truly connect is to let others see you as you really are. What I'm about to share is not just my story, it's a piece of the human experience we all share. Every feeling I've suppressed has shaped me, but now it's time to let them shape my voice instead. This isn't just a moment for me. It's a moment for anyone who's ever felt trapped by their own thoughts. Sometimes, the only way to find clarity is to step into the unknown and let your feelings lead the way.